El Conductor's first name? You have to go around, you have to guess what El Conductor's first name is.
Obviously he took over the video, doing the video stuff this year, and he's not been in obviously in the stadiums a lot, so you don't really see him. But if you say the year before that, he's the guy who's dressed up as the conductor at a train station, and that's his
persona.
Yeah, persona. So yeah, no one really knows his real name. So I thought, like Luke said, I think it's a good question.
Is it James?
Jerry.
The king.
Michael.
Leo.
Bruce.
Michael?
Doug.
John.
Juan.
Chuck. Roberto Silva.
Damon.
Dave.
I'm El Conductor, and I am a Chattahooligan. I have actually been following the team since the very first game, and I realized, well, if you're going to have a team, one thing that would be really cool, that really every team needs, is that super fan, that person who will dress up, go to all the games, be a little rowdy, and just go nuts, and be that sort of icon for all the other fans to look at and see, yeah, that's how it's done. I'm so glad we have that, and really it increases the experience for everybody. And I'm like, you know what? No one's going to do that, so I'll do that. So I figured, well, Chattanooga has a train history, so I will come up with the idea of El Conductor, and I put together this cheap train conductor costume and started going to all the games, brought my cowbells, brought some train whistles, and just sat with my family in the stands and just went crazy. It was actually my wife who suggested that, you know what, those fans down front, they seem to be standing the whole game and being, really excited and singing all the songs. Maybe you should take the cowbells and go sit down there with them. And so I did. I went down and sat with the Chattahooligan group that was forming at that same time and learned the songs, became a part of that, and have never looked back. My personal schedule, my very understanding family, my understanding boss, they've all allowed me to accommodate the team's game schedules into my personal work schedule and my personal life schedule. And I've actually seen every game in Chattanooga FC history. All the home games, all the away games. So yes, I've been all across the country. Been to San Diego, Pittsburgh, North Carolina, Tulsa, basically New Jersey. Wherever the team goes, I'll be there. And it's been really nice. I've actually gone to, I think this is my 97th game coming up here in New Orleans, which is pretty fantastic. But actually, it's my hope that, as time goes by, I'm not going to be the only person who's seen 40, 50, 60 CFC games. And that was part of my motivation for doing the streaming. I don't want to be the only person who's seen that many CFC games. I want all of the fans to have that opportunity. So with our streaming now, going forward, every fan will be able to see potentially every game. I can do a lot of stuff. I'm multi-talented. The Mega Grega TIFO that Bill Hammontree wears on his back to the games, I sewed that. Skull Train that we march in with in the games, I sewed that. There's actually an interesting story about the El Conductor costume itself. Originally, my costume wasn't so much of a train conductor, but it was more of a train engineer. It had overalls, the striped hat, a neckerchief. The first 2 seasons, that's what I wore. When we went to the first MPSL finals that we were a part of, it was down in Huntsville, Alabama, and so we had over 1,000 fans that traveled down for that game. It was a great atmosphere. We were in the finals. We sat right behind the bench of the team from Sacramento, and some of the Chattahooligans were really giving them the business and being very antagonistic towards the team. Well, one of their assistant coaches turned around and I think was complaining to the stadium officials about us, and we overheard him talking about us and referring to us as effing hillbillies. And I sort of took away from that game, well, one, that wasn't very polite, but two, just sort of looking at the way I looked with the overalls and all that, I realized, you know what, I don't want to ever, even facilitate that in any way whatsoever. So I went out, changed my costume. I now wear a tie to every game. I'm the most formally dressed person at every game now. I mean, I am very nicely dressed, and it's all because that one Sacramento coach insulted us that way, and I realized, you know what, I am going to make sure that I look nicer than everybody else at these games, and they will never be able to level that criticism at me again.